Here's a fun story based on your title. The waiter insulted Keanu Reeves at a luxury restaurant, not knowing he was the owner of the restaurant. Finally, the waiter smiled. Keanu Reeves stepped into the dimly lit luxury restaurant, his long coat draping over his shoulders like a shadow. The chandeliers glowed warmly, reflecting off the polished marble floors. He had arrived early, as he always did, waiting for his longtime friend Sandra Bullock to join him for dinner. A young waiter, dressed sharply in black and white, approached him. His name tag read, Ethan. But instead of a warm greeting, the waiter barely glanced at him before sighing dramatically. "Sir, this is a high-class establishment," Ethan said, looking at Keanu's casual attire, worn jeans and a simple t-shirt. "We have a strict dress code. I'm afraid we can't serve you." Keanu smiled slightly, his signature calm demeanor unshaken. "I understand. I'll just wait for my friend." Ethan scoffed. "Sir, we cater to celebrities and the elite. If you're waiting for someone, I suggest you do it outside. We don't want random people taking up tables." Keanu was about to reply when Sandra Bullock entered, dressed elegantly, her heels clicking softly against the marble. She spotted Keanu, her face lighting up. "Keanu, there you are." Ethan's eyes widened as he recognized her. "Sandra Bullock." He turned back to Keanu, suddenly suspicious. "Wait, who are you?" Ethan asked, his tone shifting. Sandra laughed. "Oh, he owns this place." Ethan froze. "What?" Keanu smiled warmly. "Yeah, I bought this restaurant a year ago. I like to come in unnoticed sometimes, see how things are running." Ethan's face turned pale. I didn't know, sir. I'm so sorry." Keanu patted him on the shoulder. "Relax, you were just doing your job. But remember, never judge someone by their clothes." Ethan swallowed nervously but then saw Keanu grinning. Sandra nudged him playfully. "You know, Keanu, you should give him a raise. That was quite an entertaining performance." Keanu chuckled. "Not a bad idea. What do you say, Ethan? Would you like to be our new head waiter?" Ethan's nervousness melted into a smile. I would be honored, sir." As the night went on, Ethan personally served their table with newfound enthusiasm. And for the first time that evening he smiled. Genuinely. "Hope you like it. Let me know if you want any changes." The waiter insulted Keanu Reeves at a luxury restaurant, not knowing he was the owner of the restaurant. Finally, the waiter smiled. Part 2. Ethan still couldn't believe what had just happened. A moment ago he had been dismissing a casually dressed man, assuming he was just some random guest who didn't belong. Now that same man, Keanu Reeves, global superstar and apparently his boss, had just offered him a promotion. He straightened his posture, determined to redeem himself. "Sir, Miss Bullock, it would be my absolute pleasure to serve you tonight," Ethan said, his voice steady but his hands slightly shaking. Keanu and Sandra exchanged amused glances but nodded in approval. As Ethan hurried to bring them the restaurant's finest wine, the restaurant manager, Mr. Collins, approached with an alarmed expression. He had overheard everything and realized a mistake. "Mr. Reeves, I sincerely apologize for this misunderstanding." Keanu raised a hand, cutting him off. "No need for that, Collins. Ethan was just following the rules." Collins gulped, unsure of what to say. Ethan, still nervous, quickly poured the wine into Keanu's glass with precise elegance, trying to impress. Sandra took a sip first and smirked. "Not bad, Ethan. You might actually be good at this." Keanu chuckled. "Told you, everyone deserves a second chance." As the evening progressed, Ethan proved himself. He flawlessly recommended the best dishes, ensured impeccable service, and even managed to make Sandra laugh with his improved charm. By the end of the night, Keanu stood up and extended his hand toward Ethan. "Welcome to the management team, Ethan." Ethan shook his hand, this time with confidence. "Thank you, Mr. Reeves. I promise I won't let you down." Sandra smiled and nudged Keanu. "See? You just changed someone's life again. Classic Keanu." Keanu grinned. "Well, I do what I can." As they walked out, Ethan stood at the entrance, watching them leave with a genuine smile on his face. This was a night he would never forget. The night he insulted Keanu Reeves, learned an unforgettable lesson, and got the biggest opportunity of his life. And it all started with a mistake. Let me know if you want more. The waiter insulted Keanu Reeves at a luxury restaurant, not knowing he was the owner of the restaurant. Finally, the waiter smiled. Part 3. As Keanu and Sandra stepped out into the cool night air, Ethan stood at the entrance of the restaurant, his heart still racing. What had started as an ordinary evening had turned into a life-changing moment. But just as Ethan thought the night was over, Keanu suddenly stopped and turned back toward him. "One last thing, Ethan," Keanu said, his voice calm but firm. Ethan straightened up. "Yes, sir?" "A great head waiter doesn't just serve well, he also makes sure everyone on his team is treated with respect. I want you to help create an environment where nobody feels like an outsider, whether they're a customer or a staff member." Ethan nodded, absorbing the wisdom in Keanu's words. "Absolutely, sir. I understand now." Keanu's signature warm smile appeared. "Good, and drop the sir, just call me Keanu," Sandra chuckled. "He does this everywhere he goes, just spreading kindness like it's a full-time job." Keanu shrugged. "It kind of is." They waved goodbye and Ethan watched them disappear into the city night. As he turned back inside, Mr. Collins, the restaurant manager, approached him with a smirk. "So, you went from almost getting fired to getting a promotion. That's got to be a record." Ethan laughed nervously. "I guess I just got really lucky." "No," Collins corrected. "You got a second chance. Don't waste it." Over the next few weeks, Ethan worked harder than ever. He learned from the senior staff, improved his customer service, and most importantly, treated everyone with the respect he had once failed to give Keanu. One evening, as he expertly handled a full house of guests, he noticed a familiar face at a corner table. Keanu Reeves, dressed in the same casual jeans and t-shirt. This time Ethan didn't hesitate. He walked over with a genuine smile. "Welcome back, Keanu. It's great to see you again." Keanu grinned. "Now that's more like it." Sandra, sitting across from him, raised her glass. "To second chances." Ethan lifted an imaginary glass in return. His journey had just begun. The end. Or maybe just the beginning. Let me know if you want to continue the story. The waiter insulted Keanu Reeves at a luxury restaurant, not knowing he was the owner of the restaurant. Finally, the waiter smiled. Part 4. Ethan had been thriving in his new role as head waiter for several weeks now. His confidence had grown, and he had become more than just a good waiter. He was a leader. The restaurant staff respected him, and customers praised his service. But tonight was special. Mr. Collins had pulled Ethan aside earlier in the evening. "Ethan, Keanu booked the private dining room for a VIP dinner tonight. He specifically requested you to handle it." Ethan's heart skipped a beat. It wasn't just that Keanu was the owner, it was that Ethan still felt he owed him. This was his chance to prove that he truly deserved this second chance. As the clock struck 8 p.m., Keanu walked in, again in his signature casual outfit. But this time he wasn't alone. Behind him was a group of Hollywood A-listers, Sandra Bullock of course, but also Leonardo DiCaprio, Charlize Theron, Robert Downey Jr. and Denzel Washington. The restaurant buzzed with whispers as people recognized them. Ethan took a deep breath and approached their table with a warm, confident smile. "Good evening, Mr. Reeves, Ms. Bullock, and distinguished guests. My name is Ethan, and I'll be taking care of you tonight." Keanu smirked. "See? Much better than last time." Sandra chuckled. "Oh, I was hoping for another awkward moment. That was fun." Ethan grinned but remained professional. He guided them through the exclusive menu, recommended wine pairings, and even engaged in light conversation with the stars. At one point, Robert Downey Jr. leaned toward Keanu and whispered, loud enough for Ethan to hear, "Okay, I like this guy. Can I steal him for my new restaurant?" Keanu laughed. "Not a chance, Tony Stark." By the time dessert was served, Ethan felt completely at ease. The evening had gone flawlessly. He had even managed to impress some of Hollywood's most influential figures. As the night came to a close, Keanu pulled Ethan aside. "Ethan, you've done an amazing job," Keanu said sincerely. "I'm proud of how far you've come." Ethan felt a lump in his throat. "I owe it all to you, Keanu. You gave me a second chance when most people wouldn't have." Keanu shook his head. "No, you earned it." Then, to Ethan's shock, Keanu handed him a small envelope. "What's this?" Ethan asked, hesitantly opening it. Inside was an invitation, an offer to train in restaurant management under some of the best chefs in the world, fully sponsored by Keanu himself. Ethan's hands trembled. "I don't know what to say." Say yes, Sandra chimed in with a wink. Ethan looked at Keanu, overwhelmed. Yes, absolutely yes. Keanu smiled. Good. Because I have a feeling you're going to do great things, Ethan. As Keanu and the stars left the restaurant, Ethan stood there, holding the invitation to his future. A few weeks ago, he had almost lost his job. Now he had been given the opportunity of a lifetime. And for the first time in his life, Ethan truly believed he belonged. The end, or a new beginning. That wraps up Ethan's journey. Unless you want to continue it further. Let me know what you think.